Everyone's joined. We have San Diego chapter and the Phoenix chapter here today. So thanks everyone for joining. We're lucky to have Tony present in a few minutes, but first we're going to go over some chapter business. Tonight we had our monthly board meeting with the board. We decided on a few things. One is that we're not going to have an October meeting. No on the October meeting. Typically, we don't have it during NAB, which is in April, but now it's October, so we are not having an October meeting. The SBE National is going to be live streaming their meeting. We're going to try and share it on our page as well, but look out for that next month. Just talking yesterday, obviously seems pretty up in the air about NAB and some of the video companies like Sony, et cetera, that are not going to NAB. Tony, is GatesAir still committing to NAB?
Yes, okay. At this time, we are still scheduled to go to NAB, and I don't see if I think the understanding is even if we don't, even if we have a smaller presence there, we'll still have people at the NAB.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Holiday party. So we're still working, or Maria's still working on the holiday party, kind of by trying to get ideas about social distancing, things like that, and. One of the things we talked about yesterday is possibly doing a virtual option for the holiday party. We had the survey come out. Of course, that was 3-4 months ago now. It's, at least, and things have changed. Things will probably continue to change, so we're just really not sure. And it's also been really hard to try to get any venue locked down, obviously, for that many people, about 100 people. So we're leaning towards possibly that option. If you have any other thoughts or opinions, give it to the floor. You can express them. Nothing in stone yet, but that's what we're exploring. The SCFCC Frequency Coordination Group, they typically put on their Christmas party in July at Mount Wilson, and they decided that they're not going to do that this year for COVID reasons. Also, with the forest being closed, we'll talk about that in a sec. But no party this year. Mike, anything you want to comment on that? All right, here and now moving on. So yeah, just a couple market things. For Mount Wilson, the forest is closed. Pretty much, I'm sure everyone that works up there knows that. What does that mean? That means that basically any recreation up there is not allowed. The road going to Palmdale from the 2 going on Forest, 2 on Forest Highway going to Palmdale is open, so you can make it to Clear Creek. Past Clear Creek, you need to have ID or have a reason, lawful business to be up there. One of the Morello engineers had an issue on Friday getting up there. Was stopped by forestry. That's the only issue I've heard of. I reached out to one of the forestry law enforcement guys. He said that they shouldn't have been stopped. Not sure why. Or asked him if we should be doing permits or something better to get up there. We've had similar issues with the Bobcat fire, and there's 4 separate agencies that can close the road, and they kind of all have different requirements on how they handle their business and who's allowed and whatnot. So trying to get a little bit of clarity. If you do go up there and you are denied, let me know, please, and get as much information as possible. The forestry captain said, anything that basically has your name or an ID that shows that you work for a company up there should work. But again, it really depends who's standing in front of the gate, right? So hopefully more on that next month. I sent out an email this morning to all the users of the Mount Wilson email group. We've decided, working with Rich Newell of the Odyssey, we decided that we're going to move it to Google Groups and have the SBE maintain it. They've always done it on a volunteer basis, and obviously he's very busy and doesn't really have the time to maintain the list. And the list has worked great for obviously many years, but it's kind of a little antiquated, and we thought that Google Groups may better serve the group's needs. So if you're not on the list, you can go to the SBE website and put in a request to be added. You have to have business up there. We're not going to add anybody. I think that's all I have on that. Going to national news. The new president of SBE, I guess this was a month or 2 ago, is now Andrea Cummings. The new board was elected. The SPE national meeting is slated to still be in Vegas at NAB time. And it will be October 11th at 5 p.m. and they will stream that. Certification window will be November 5th through 15th. I know Doug, I think, had one test taker in the last period. So thanks, Doug, for handling that. And I think that's about it. Chapter elections. So for our bylaws, elections are in October. Where no one is vacating their seat on the board, but if you'd like to want to be nominated and go to a vote, please let me know. If we don't have any nominations, we won't have a vote, and we'll continue with the same board. If you're interested, please let me know. Any position is available. Okay, I think that's all I have. The Phoenix chapter, San Diego, do you guys have anything you want to add?
I don't see any. I don't see any of the officers from Chapter 9, so I don't think anybody on currently knows too much about what we're doing these days.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for being here. All right. Any other business? Anything you want to discuss about the market, SPE? Now is your time. We're not going to do introductions. We haven't been doing that for a little while. So yeah, if there's anything you want to announce to the group, go ahead. All right. Well, without any further ado.
Actually, Matt, this is JD Strawler from Santa Barbara. Just kind of a general question. The Ventura EAS the beginning of this month, the 7th, encoded their RMT for all of California. I know it got to Santa Barbara and relayed in Santa Barbara. Anybody on the group here know if it went past that?
Yeah, I don't know how Ventura originates the RMT, if it's the sheriff's office or whatever, but isn't Tim Koza, the LECC up there?
Yes, it was originated by the sheriff, and I guess their sage lost its mind. And it was encoded for all of California. Santa Barbara monitors is just part of the plan, Ventura. And I thought SLO monitored Santa Barbara, but I haven't found anybody from SLO to answer. Anyway, it's a question just for the group. Nobody knows. Bye.
But yeah, I guess my advice would be, if you haven't reached out to Tim Koza, he'd be the best bet.
Yeah, Tim is quite aware of it.
Okay, cool.
And they're working on getting the county sage fixed.
All right, anything else? Okay, well, without any further ado, Tony, take it away. Thanks for being here, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I do appreciate it. I appreciate everybody taking the time out of their busy day. I'll make this quick and painless as possible. Plus, it's a little past my lunchtime here, so I need to go get corned beef. Anyway, we're talking about transport, and really, and we preface it by saying video, because with our Ascent Media Gateway, we can use it to transport just about anything. It's really, we are the conduit for any IP packet, UDP packet, it doesn't matter, using SRT as well as our dynamic stream splicing, our married technologies. If I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with our IP link and what we have with that. We kind of leverage the Ascent off of the success of the IP link. This is the Ascent itself is a high density audio codec, and the Ascent Media Gateway would be a transport system. The Ascent Media Gateway is actually part of the Ascent codec, but you can buy the Ascent Media Gateway by itself. What it allows you to do is it will allow you to take this server, and it's an appliance, if you would, and park it anywhere. You could park it at a CDN, you could park it at your NOC, or anywhere where there's high bandwidth. Send a signal to it, and then repeat the signal to as many destinations as you need to. Right now, we are not licensing it as a per stream. It's licensed as a box, or it's sold as a box. So you can do as many transports as you need. The limitation is really the throughput and your bandwidth available. We've tested it up to about 550 meg throughput. So that allows you to do multiple signals. If you're doing ATSC3 and you got your 55 meg stream or 50 meg stream, we have stations using the Ascent to send it to multiple transmitter sites. They're from master control. And again, there's no codec built into the Ascent Media Gateway. We're taking we're taking your IP stream, ingesting it, and then repeating it out. So what I'm going to show you today is basically the part Ascent, but also the features of the Ascent Media Gateway, which will allow you to use it to. And again, it's not limited to video. It's limited to, it can be transport anything. We have stations. We have a major group that's actually using this to. This is a Phoenix chapter in this meeting also. Did I hear? Yes,
Correct.
maybe.
Yes,
Yep.
that's
So
Yes,
I
some
believe someone from Phoenix is using this with their company to rebroadcast a talk show that is originating out of Jacksonville, or maybe Tampa. Anyway, and the studio is sending a package, if you would, IP package up to Ascent Media Gateway, hosted by Stream Guys, and then it's being rebroadcast to, I think, 7 different radio stations, embedded with metadata as well as contact closures and all that good stuff. So and using dynamic stream splicing, so they're actually receiving the stream twice and aggregating the data to get you, or aggregating the ones and zeros to give you one clean stream out. So let me pop over to that real quick. Let's see. Hopefully everybody can see this. This is basically, as you log in, it has the same login feel as an Intraplex IPL, your username, password. You'll pop into this screen. This is actually sitting on a machine here at my house. This isn't a full Ascent Media Gateway. This is just running my version of software, so I can demo it and show people different features. But it has all the same features and look as an IPL. Allowing you to set alarms, look at your alarm log, look at your configurations, and things like date and time, using NTP servers, enabling PTP, all that good stuff, as well as contacts, GPIOs if you have GPIOs you want to use, text mapping, ingesting text information to give you a GPIO output, and then networking all your network interfaces. What's neat about this, because it is running on a server platform, it's running in a Ubuntu server that we pretty much locked down pretty hard. We can add many network ports onto this. So if you needed, multiple network, I mean, right now this machine has 3. I'm only using 1. If you needed to have, 6 network ports for whatever reason, you can add a network card to it, or add, if you wanted to add a USB dongle network, you could. I probably wouldn't do that, maybe use that as a management port, but I wouldn't do that for streaming video or anything. And you can add as many network ports as you want to this. Of course, you have your whitelist and your blacklist, so it gives you access. If you want to give specific access to individual network ports and IP addresses, and of course, it gives you your status on what your bit rate is, a total bit rate, and streams and whatnot. So it gives you a lot of information. Security wise, much like you can enable or disable the USBs. So if you decided this is sitting in a CDN somewhere, disable the USB so nobody can plug a USB dongle in or do anything, you can turn that all off. And of course, you have your users that you would set up. You could set up multiple users and give them authentications, whether they're under the engineering group, administrator group, users group, or admin group.
Well, I know I can't set out a notice yesterday.
Again, upgrade the firmware. It's kind of like just doing an IPL right up front. You would source it, upload it, reboot it, and you're up and running. Yeah, we do have SNMP. We provide you the traps, and you can set up the MIBs, and you can set up all the information actually. And here's your MIB config here, and you can download it right from the unit. And then here's all your information and your traps. And then file manager, documentation, everything's built in. Ping utility is really handy. We use that because that's how we know, because we can ping a particular port. When we have people call in and go, hey, my stream doesn't work and I can't find out why, first thing I do is jump right in and try to ping the IP address and their signaling port, which is usually 50,000. If you can't ping the port, you're not going to pass information. It's as simple as that. So this gives us a quick way to say, okay, I can ping the IP address, but I'm not pinging the port. That means the port's closed and you got to open up your router or your firewall. Also, the other thing we got to watch out for, a lot of times people are double natting. They're using an AT&T router on a fiber or an AT&T DSL modem or type of modem like that, Comcast, what have you. You got to remember that they put those cable modems and routers into router mode, and you need to put them into bridge mode if you have another router in front of it, so it passes all traffic and let your router or firewall handle that information. That's first. So if we want to add a channel here, I have actually a channel here labeled, but you can go and you would just create a channel. This is if we were going to ingest information. Now, right now, I'm actually using what this is ingesting right now is actually a Dante stream. This is a Dante dongle hanging off a USB port, and I have Dante audio running through it. But this is the same way you would ingest video. If I were to create another channel, and what type of channel it is, it's going to be an input. And this is where whether I'm going to do I'm receiving an IceCast stream. Am I receiving a media gateway stream, which is any type of UDP stream, if you would, or IP stream, AS67 audio, also sound. This is also where you would find, if you had the WheatNet, this is where you would find your WheatNet streams. If you had LiveWire, this is where you would find your LiveWire channels. So you would know what kind of ingest, and it's possible to mix and match. You can have in this particular box with the Ascent, and if you bought it as an Ascent unit versus just a media gateway, you can have a 67 audio as well as the sound card audio and a media gateway all running at the same time. But if I chose media gateway, I would put in the source address that the IP that the traffic's coming from, the receive port, and then the interface. Well, it knows it's a loop back because that's the port. And then your receive port, whatever your receive port may be. So now this is going to be looking for information coming in on any of the Ethernet ports or any of the ports that I have set up to receive data. And you would see it here as it comes in, and you would have all the information. It would show me the bit rate coming in. If you notice, I can add more streams to that. So this gives me the ability to have a primary and a backup stream coming in, or even a tertiary stream coming in if need be. So you see the channel here, kind of gives you all the information. There's really no settings other than you're receiving that UDP stream. And again, if it's your video, you're just going to receive it in. You'll see your total bit rate coming in. And then to send the stream out, to create another channel going out, it's basically the same way. We're going to send a stream name. Maybe we'll call this, and it's going to be a transmit stream protocol. This is where we're going to select how we're sending it to the final destination. If it's RTP or SRT, if you're using another Ascent box, well, you have to use another Ascent box on your receive end. You can set it up as SRT, and then put in all of your information. What channel 2, listening port. In this particular case, I'm going to set it up as RTP just because I don't have another stream another box to send it to. But anyway, SRT, you would again set it up as a multicast or a unicast. Most of these streams are point-to-point unicast. You can send multiple streams, but they're point-to-point unicast. It can be used in multicast mode, but most networks won't allow it unless you're on your private fiber or you have your own end-to-end fiber and you opened up multicast ports. And your destination IP address. With the destination port and the source port and your channel that you're sending. So there you go, off it goes. In here, this is where you would set whether or not you're connecting to the stream and whether you're enabling a stream. So you can, if you look here, oops. Here I'm sending a stream, I'm receiving from channel 1 and just transmitting it back out. This is the destination it's going to. I can keep adding more destinations to this. Even though the stream's running, I could add another destination to that if I wanted to. And enable the stream. And there it goes. So this gives you the ability to manage streams as well as control the information without having to take down, you know, maybe you're feeding a primary site, secondary site, maybe you're feeding multiple boosters and you have to take a particular booster down for whatever. That gives you the ability just to select a box and turn off the stream without having to disconnect all the streams.
And they have to be the same format, it looks like.
Yeah, yes. Remember, this is not doing in the video world or in the repeating world, it's not doing any manipulation of the information. It's taking in the information and sending it back out. All right. In this particular case, I'm sending this particular stream. This is a, you know, an Opus stream at 160. If I wanted to create another stream at a totally different format, I can absolutely do that. In the Ascent world, I can, you know, take stream number 1. Apparently typing is not going to work today. Send it out. I'm going to select channel number 1, right? It's receiving, you're going to use that information, but now I can send it as uncompressed audio, AAC, LLC, MPEG. So I do have the capability in the audio, on the audio side of things, because there's audio codecs built in, that I can select any other stream. We can multi-code any input that we're using as part of the, using the codec, much like we can in any IPL unit. We can multi-code every piece of audio. But in the Ascent Media Gateway mode, where we're just receiving IP, we're just not changing it, not manipulating it. We're just receiving it, turning it around and sending it out to as many streams as it needs to go to. So here, again, sending this stream out, I can add multiple destinations, multiple boosters, whatever. I could add multiple streams if I had to. If I had to filter by channel number, in the case where I have, if you're going to be using dynamic stream splicing, you're actually going to be sending 2 streams out to a destination to 2 different IP addresses, so it can receive the information through 2 IP ports. So the radio group that I'm talking about that's doing that, they actually have here, they have on their main channel, you'll see stream number 1 from the received destination, stream number 2 from the received destination, and receive port, and going out to the multiple destinations. So each destination is getting 2 independent streams that are getting merged together on the far end. Dynamic stream splicing aggregates the information from multiple streams and assembles it to give you one clean output. So if you're missing 1s and 0s from any one of your 2 streams or 3 streams or path diversity or time diversity streams, we'll still be able to be up and running. We call it hitless operation. And we deployed that here as well. And with SRT, with secure reliable transport. If you're not familiar with secure reliable transport, it's kind of more like a reliable UDP. SRT has a hook in it that allows it to ask for a retransmission of lost packets. So it acts like TCP/IP without throttling down like TCP/IP would. You know, if traffic is getting corrupted and it's having latency issues with TCP/IP, you start lagging and you start throttling down. UDP won't do that. UDP will continue to run and won't throttle down, and will resend transmit packets. And of course, it has other FEC built in and whatnot. So that's basically the in and out, if you would, of Ascent and Ascent Media Gateway, allowing us to basically receive information, doesn't matter what it is, we don't care what the 1s and 0s are, and send it back out. We have multiple transmitters running this right now, and markets, I think there's about 6 or 8 in the video world running this as their STL, either across public network, private network, or a combination of the both. We have one station that's running across their microwave fiber and their backups running across an AT&T fiber. Both are coming from the Ascent Media gateway and going out to their transmitter site. And then we have another group in Cleveland, I believe, that's sending it to 3 transmitter sites from the master control. I'm sorry, in Cincinnati. So it pretty much just plug and play like the Ascent. Once you get it up and running, it just add your streams and go. But the good thing is reporting wise, alarming wise, it gives you all the information. You're going to be, you'll use, most people are using SNMP in some form or fashion, whether it be through a remote control, or if you have some type of SNMP alarming server, what have you. This gives you the ability to monitor relatively easy. I know when we use Stream Guys, they use this also within their system. So they actually can tell if something's going wrong with the Ascent Media Gateway rather rapidly. Any questions as we kind of breeze through this pretty fast?
Hey, Tony, Saul Perez here. So the Ascent appliance, it's strictly for video or audio, network-based video and audio, for multicasting or unicasting as needed, right? So there's no physical connections. I mean, video or audio connections. It's all over a network. Is that correct?
Well, no, that's not true. You can, if in the audio world, Livewire is available. We can put 2 Livewire cards in it, and it would act as a 16 channel or 2 8-channel nodes on a Livewire network. NPR has 6, 8 of these. No, more. 8. I think they have 10 Ascent servers, all running Livewire, running between I think there's 5 in DC and 5 in Minneapolis. And it is basically their backup to their satellite. So that gives them the ability to ingest Livewire, transport it across, any type of network, and then output Livewire on the far end. So you can have a Livewire connection, which would be an RJ45 on the back of, or the an Ethernet core cable. WheatNet is currently being deployed or being worked on. WheatNet will just be again an Ethernet connection that plugs into a WheatNet switch, and it'll act as a, you'll pull it up in Pathfinder and be able to see it, or Navigator, I'm sorry, and pull it up and be able to see the channels in WheatNet. If you want physical audio channels, we can use an ASI card that you can use. It'll give you 8 inputs, 8 outputs in either analog or digital AES3. And of course, you have AES67 if you wanted to use Ethernet that way.
Would that also apply to any video as well?
Video there is no video card or video codec for the Ascent or Media Gateway or the Ascent at this time. Only because most places have a way that they're getting IP out anyway. So we'll just ingest your IP stream and use it, and you would basically use this as your transport mechanism to get to the transmitter site or boosters or whatever.
Thank you.
But this provides you the secure, reliable transport, and as well as dynamic stream splicing. It provides you security features that are not typically built into other products. And there are other people out there that make something very similar to this, but they have video codecs on it, and they charge by the stream, and they charge by how many clients are on there, and we just don't. We just like, here's your box, do what you need to do. If you need to use a video codec of some point, we can make recommendations. We've tested it with a handful of different manufacturers that we know that works. And the good thing is like the guys who code this stuff they sit right in Mason. I need to call Gavin. I can pick up the phone right now, get on the phone with him and say, okay, hey, what's going on? We're not sending this out to Latvia or some other country like that. This is being, coded right in Ohio and supported right in Mason, Ohio.
How much additional latency does this add to the path?
That's a loaded question. Because it really depends on your latency of your path itself. There is some latency added because of either dynamic stream splicing or SRT. I'm not sure of the exact number of that. I know it's not major, but it's going to be dependent on your path. And if you're sending a 55 meg stream versus, a 22 meg stream, that's really what's going to determine your total latency. Any other questions?
Hey, Tony. So if I get this right, if you're doing one stream, so you're a station, you want to just do one stream point to point, this is really not the solution, right? But if you're trying to do something that's enterprise, multiple stations, this is where this would come into play, right? Or did I get that wrong?
No, you're right. This is not meant to be, this is not replacing the IPL line. The IPL, IPL 100, IPL 200, one channel, two channel codecs, absolutely there. This is meant to, typically this would go into a studio or go into a CDN. I have two other networks or two other major groups that are looking at, or actually using this as not only point to point from multiple studios so they can share information across studios, because we can pass GPI closures and whatnot if you're using it in the audio world, but also the ability to put this out at a central location, or maybe at two different central locations. You have a main and a backup, and then you have your studios and your transmitters. In one particular group who's building out their emergency network, this gives them the ability to go from any studio to any transmitter site anywhere in the country.
Got it. Because the IPL line, can you do AES 67 on those?
Yes. Well, so we can ingest AES 67 on all the IPLs. We cannot output AES 67. So we can ingest an AES 67 stream and then output either left and right audio or AES 3.
Okay.
Just like all the IPLs can ingest AES 192 and also output 192. The only box that would give you the reduced bandwidth feature, if you would, without compressing the audio, or the composite, if you would, is the IPL 100 MP, the composite box. We just basically do effective data rate packing, but it's uncompressed, linear composite, if you would, with your L plus R, L minus R stereo information, plus your 57 kilohertz. And we get it in about 1.62 meg, 1.64 meg, which can be passed on anything nowadays. I mean, I have a Max Connect box here that I test all these streams with and everything, and I ran composite for like a day across an LTE modem from AT&T without any problems.
Yeah, we use the IP technology a lot here in LA for boosters and the Synchrocast, and we're big fans. Seems to work really well, and yeah, we like it.
Yeah, and this is designed for, it's really, this is something I would put in your studio. And, if your studio's live wire, put your live wire cards in it, let it run in there. And then all of a sudden you have this high density audio codec that can encode and decode from anywhere. And, you can have up to, in the live wire world, I think we're doing 16 channels at this point. The limitation is the chassis. We're basically sticking with a 2U chassis that has redundant power supplies and redundant fans and whatnot. I'm pretty sure there's other chassis out there that could fit more, but right now that's kind of what we thought was manageable for everybody, and priced right.
All right. Any other questions for Tony? Tony, do you have a slide with your contact information maybe, or best way to get a hold of you?
Actually, can I post it? Wow, I didn't even think about putting a slide up. That's the first time I didn't do that. Well, it's let's see, let's do this. Give me 1 second.
So while you're doing that, Tony, I have a question, and Ron, I have an email from another gentleman there at GatesAir, and there's a little picture at the bottom of his signature that says GatesAir 99 years. Yeah, there you
Yes.
go. Right there. What was GatesAir 99 years ago?
I guess it was just actually Gates. Gates Intertype.
And what did they create back then? Because we're talking 1920, right?
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know what Gates that was. Wasn't that printing? I don't know.
Ron?
It would have been Harris Interpipe. And they made machines to for printing presses.
Actually, no, they
All right.
turned into Harris Intertype in 1957. The company was sold in 1957 to Harris, became Harris Intertype Corporation, now Harris Corporation. So, yeah, no, it was Gates Intertype.
Well, very cool.
I knew it had
Alright,
something to
Jake.
do with printing. Because if you go to Mason, I think you see some parts for printing presses or something like that. You see transmitters, Emmy Awards, Intraplex, and is that a roller from an old Heidelberg? You know, it's like.
All right, well, thanks, Tony.
Yep.
Good.
There's my information. If you have any questions, you want to see something a little bit more in action, we can absolutely work that out for you. If you have any needs coming up, I know there's a lot of translator projects coming up for TV. Nick and Ron, everybody on the West Coast are working very hard on with you guys. I know on all that. This is what this box is designed for. We're working on other, we have for the radio side, we have the Intraplex IPL 100E, which is our card version of the IPL, which will fit right inside your fax exciter, and that would give you the ability to basically have your IPL built right into the exciter. And that is shipping starting in October at the end of the month, and as well as our 100C, which is our compact IPL, which is a half rack, has all the features of the IPL 100, the full size, except it does not have IP Connect, so you really can't use it to transport E2X data or anything like that. It does not have GPS capabilities, but it does have portability, as well as the inputs are mic line switchable, and it gives you the ability to run it IPL to IPL or IPL to CENT and use and leverage off SRT if you wanted to leverage off SRT. So, and that also starts shipping at the end of October. And if there's any questions or anybody like any more information on that, just drop me an email direct and I'd be more than happy to help you with anything. That's what I do every day. I eat and drink Intraplex and brisket.
I was going to say. What about how is GatesAir doing with parts shortages?
I will say that I'm the management team and the team that works together on all of that has just done a fabulous job, because I tell you, we've run into some situations with Intraplex that we needed to source out parts and they found them, and we just continue to crank away. It's affecting everybody. I know we're probably not delivering certain things as quickly as possible, or as quickly as like we used to pre-shortage, I guess you would. But I know that Mark and the team do an exceptional job for, if something happens and you got an emergency or you got to get something, they get it. I don't, they got some magic hats back there. I don't know how they do it, but they do. I don't get involved in the transmitter side too much. I'm just pretty much on the Interplex side, but I know I can tell you this is something they work very hard on every day to make sure that when a client calls and says, I need this, they get it. I mean, that's just, we work very hard with that.
So where is your son's bar? Is it in Delray Beach?
Yeah, it's right in the it's a deli, right in the Delray Beach Market. There's where the anchor store, if you would. And they're open from 9 a.m. to close every day. They do breakfast. We get, we do Chicago beefs. They do Philly pork roll or Philly cheesesteaks and chopped cheese from New York City. And all of the meats are imported from Italy. Go to bigteasdeli.com and you can check it out. And if you ever come into Florida and if you ever land in West Palm Beach, West Delray Beach is less than a 9-iron away from West Palm Beach. And especially if you come down here, we'll feed you. Come on in, Mike will take care of you. We do have radio people come in and they're, and it's amazing because they're like, yeah, we know your dad from, Z100. We know your dad from Walk. We know your dad from this, that. And it's great because everybody who walks in, I'm either known from Big T's or I'm known from radio. So it's just very interesting. There's a lot of, radio type personalities from the East Coast that live, here. And I do work for on the side and stuff like that. Kid Kelly has a place here. Spider Harrison, there's just about everybody lives down here on a golf course somewhere. So, and the funny thing is, I just read that for my youngest works at the Breakers, which is this high-end, bougie hotel in Palm Beach, where Rod Stewart punched out security guy last year on New Year's Eve. So they just made a plea bargain.
Yeah.
So, guys, I really do appreciate it. Again, you have any questions, please feel free to drop me an email direct, or you could talk to your sales rep, whether it's Ron or I'm pretty sure most of you either Ron or Nick, and they can get in contact with me. But I'd be more than happy to work with you guys for anything.
Thanks, Tony. I appreciate it.
Take care, guys. Be safe. Enjoy the week.
All right. So again, no meeting next month. We'll pick it up back in November for our lunchtime meeting on Zoom. And thanks, Doug, for getting the presentation scheduled. And we'll see you guys 2 months. Have fun on NAB. Thanks.